So this is a story we've been covering really for some time on NewsNation involving the families of the 9/11 attacks and the government of Saudi Arabia. A federal judge has now rejected the Saudi government's bid to dismiss a lawsuit that was filed on behalf of the families. The lawsuit alleging that the Saudi government helped the 9/11 hijackers carry out the attacks on September 11th of 2001. Brett Eagleson joins us on this, president of 9/11 Justice, plaintiff in the lawsuit. Brett, welcome back to NewsNation. And when I say that, I want to start by playing a clip of you on this network, September of 2021. And then we'll ask you how you feel today with this lawsuit going forward. And you're going to have your day in court. Here's first, back then.
There are documents that exist that our government has. I think that my co-guest knows and is very aware of them. It's called Operation Encore, and they're documents that implicate the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So we want those, and we're not going away, and we're not going anywhere, and we demand them, and we demand justice and closure.
And for people who don't know, there were a couple of guys, and since declassified videos that we showed and other things, that were employees of the Saudi government and are thought to have had, and the judge is the one saying this now, plausible roles possibly in assisting the 9/11 hijackers. So he's letting this trial go forward. How do you feel today?
Yeah, absolutely. There's just an overwhelming sense of relief amongst myself, my family, and the 9/11 community. And thinking back to that video, well, I hate to say we told you so. We've been saying this for 20 years. Our government has had documents. Mysteriously, they vanished. And now, thanks to the help of the MPS, Scotland Yard, and the British intelligence authorities, we have the documents. And by the way, the 9/11 Commission didn't have the documents. The FBI agents investigating the case didn't have the documents. The CIA didn't have the documents. Nobody claims to have seen these documents except us. Apparently, we're the only ones that had access to these documents and the British authorities. So it's unbelievable that it's taken this long, but you know what? The wheels of justice may grind slow, but they grind exceedingly fine. And today, or yesterday I should say, it's been reaffirmed that the 9/11 community, the 9/11 families, and America at large will have our day in court, because 9/11 changed the way of life for everybody alive today. And America deserves this just as much as we all deserve this day in court.
Let's talk about the evidence here. The two men are Omar al-Bayoumi and Fahad al-Thumari, who were employed, as I understand it, by Saudi Arabia. Pulling from the lawsuit in the Southern District of New York, the plaintiffs have managed to provide this court with reasonable evidence as to the roles played by Bayoumi, Thumari, and KSA in assisting the hijackers. KSA did not proffer sufficient evidence to the contrary. Tell us what we're talking about here. What happened?
So KSA is an abbreviation for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Basically, the judge says they didn't give any credible reasons as to why this lawsuit shouldn't continue. What the plaintiffs presented and what we put forward was an overwhelming fact pattern, real facts, indefensible facts of how the government of Saudi Arabia aided and materially supported these hijackers. And let me just give you one quick example. So before the hijackers arrived in LAX airport, there was a Saudi advance team. And if you know, anybody knows anything about Al-Qaeda, they are meticulous planners. There was no way that Al-Qaeda was going to let 19 thugs with no knowledge of English, no idea of Western culture, no money, fend for themselves and be on their own and try to pull off this most significant attack. That did not happen, but the 9/11 Commission and the mainstream narrative would have you believe that. These hijackers had a support network in place, and that support network was in the form of the Saudi government. So the Saudi government, there are two individuals, Sudan and Sudari, laid the groundwork for these Al-Qaeda terrorists to be successful. That's what we laid out in court, and you know what? The Reed, and he said, I've seen enough. You guys have surpassed the bar. There is plenty of evidence here. We need to litigate this in court.
How much of it was related to that video we showed some time ago with the casing of the Capitol and that kind of thing, all this legwork that was supposedly be done beforehand? Same guys, or?
Well, that's a very interesting question, because the reason it's taken so long is that we hadn't had any of this information until about a year or so ago. All of this information, everything that we've presented in courts, I would say the crux of it, 70, 80%, the most salacious, the most damning stuff, was the stuff that wasn't given to us. Go figure. It was the stuff that was buried. It was the stuff that our own government claims that they didn't have or they've never seen. So most of it, most of the damning evidence came from the British authorities. And thanks and praise to them, because they have their backs more than our own government has had our backs.
So you think, or have reason to believe, that the United States government knew about this all along, is what you're saying?
I haven't heard a credible reason. I'm not gonna suppose as to why our government didn't give this, but there's really, you've heard the deputy director of the CIA live on television say that he was President Bush's personal briefer. I'm talking about Mike Morrell. Mike Morrell, the deputy director of the CIA at the time, said he's never seen the video. The FBI agents, the Encore agents, the true heroes that were investigating the Saudi roll, they never seen the video. So we've never been given a reason as to why this evidence has been buried.
Okay, and now you guys get your day in court, so this will all be adjudicated there, and we thank you for coming on with us today.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.